Oh, yeah.
All right. Let's proceed. We're all ready. We're all recording.
Well, now that we have Mike's permission.
Yeah, we're all recording. Are we good, Mike? Can we go?
All right.
Can we go?
Have we talked about
Are we
this
there
before?
yet?
Yeah.
I might have said this before. True story.
All right.
Hi,
Hey,
guys.
everybody. God, it's awful. Hello,
There's our sticker.
All right.
Right there.
All right. We're already in it. Hello. Welcome
should
back
have
to another episode.
We should have a
Other thing-
blooper reel at the end of this. Outtakes.
No, this is gonna be it.
Oh, okay.
This is it.
We took last week off because all of us have stuff going on. Mitch,
Yeah.
just moved.
Yeah, I moved to North Carolina. That's
Mhm.
That's been fun. It's been a pain and a half. I think I have an ulcer. It's pretty great. I've had this whole week off, and it's consisted of sleeping in till about noon, hating myself for the first couple hours, staring at the pile of stuff that we still need to unpack, getting on it, and then realizing that it's 2 a.m. and then going to bed. So it's been good.
Perfect. You know what? Unpacking is the worst. We moved into this house almost two years ago. Jesus, it's been 2 years. And we still have boxes
Yeah.
in the corner of some rooms.
Yeah, it's one thing I'm trying to I'm not going to get it all done quick, but whatever. It's I was able to muster together a little recording studio, and yeah, hopefully the echo isn't too bad. Are you guys picking that up? Are you picking that up?
Slightly.
No, okay. Oh well. What am I drinking? That's a good question. I am drinking a local microbrewery from I'm from North Carolina, and it's OMB. It's a copper alt beer. It's pretty awesome.
Nice.
I will say, one thing that I love off the bat about North Carolina, where I live, is their microbreweries. All their microbreweries are not like 90% IPAs and stouts. They actually have a variety of different stuff. I had we went to this place last night that their what do you call it? The flagship, the most popular flagship. Okay, was called a Kolsch. I think it's a German style ale that apparently they won a contest with in Germany. So these Americans took their German style beer to Germany and then won a competition. So that's pretty good. But yeah, I'll have to take you guys to it.
Yeah, you're right. The on the West Coast, especially in California, they're very hop heavy. A lot of IPAs and shit.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's just because of the agricultural nature of California.
True.
We grow, I think, three or four specific strains are natural to California, or like what we specialize in here.
And we're talking about beer, right? Not.
Yeah, we're talking about
both.
hops. Both. Yeah, actually, it's a lot more than three strains though.
So I had a theory about that, and I actually was thinking about this the first time I came out to visit Charlotte, North Carolina. I live in North Carolina. My then girlfriend at the time toured me around Charlotte and took me to a few microbreweries. I'm like, wow, it seems like all of them. There was one or two. Even the smallest ones had all this variety in beers. And in California, it seemed like there was mostly IPAs, stouts, West style IPAs, doubles, triples, all that. And I had a theory. Do you think it's mostly the region that spurred that, or is it because it's catching up to the microbrew culture? Is it that the East Coast got started on it and they've been been doing breweries for longer? You know what I mean? Like more microbrews for a longer time. Could that be why they have more variety?
I would say it's regional. It's probably regional because I remember when I visited early in my relationship with my lady. I traveled to Maryland and spent a week with her and her folks. And I remember we went to a couple breweries out there. And I don't remember a lot about it because it's been so long. But I do remember there was a variety. And even out here, though, there is still a good variety. But I do think it's regional because there is a thing called a West Coast IPA.
Right, yeah.
And even on the East Coast, there's the Northeast IPA, which is the hazy IPA. That's style.
It's the New England IPA.
You're right, New England IPA. I always say Northeast. Most menus just put NE IPA.
Yeah.
But so I do think it's regional, but I actually think it'd be the opposite of what you just said.
Interesting. Okay.
As far as the trends, because the beer trends typically start in either San Diego, Portland, or the Northeast. So it could be that the IPA trend hasn't flooded down to North Carolina yet.
Okay.
Or they just don't give a shit.
Or they just don't give a shit. I also say like IPAs tend to be a lot more like crisp, refreshing. They do. I mean, some do get heavy, but they're more like a lighter, crispier, like a flavor you want in like summer. And California, the West Coast, it's perpetually summer here, so that could lend to the popularity.
And also something, because the other day, I don't know how this just happened, but like I met with a bunch of reps from Southern California breweries. There was like 5 of them, I think, and we were all just sitting around a table talking beer. And one of them actually brought up how the reason why Ballast Point has like 5 different flavors of Sculpin.
Yeah.
Was simply because, 1, IPAs are very versatile, like you could do a lot with them, and 2, it was hard to get certain kinds of hops to brew other kinds of beers. So that's when they started fucking around with Sculpin. They put pineapple in it, mango in it, all those shit, just because they could, because they had tons of that hop, but not different hops and different ingredients.
Interesting. Huh.
So
they may do, and as a result, Sculpin's super popular. You got the grapefruit, variety pack now. That's funny. That's
and
pretty
expensive.
Cool. And it's expensive as fuck.
Sculpin is fucking pricey.
Okay, it's not just me. Okay, because I thought it was it was
Sculpin,
pretty good beer.
Sculpin is good. It is a good beer.
Right.
But Sculpin is priced at the same price as most double IPAs.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that too. And I don't think it's as good for the price.
Is Sculpin the Grey Goose of beer?
That's a great analogy. I can't talk to the point of like what goes into it, like if the price is justified on the back end, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's not a bad comparison.
Okay.
Yeah. It's got a name. It's got a fancy bottle.
Yeah, it's a brand that's good, just overpriced.
Yeah.
That's not a bad comparison. I like that.
All right, yeah. All right, well, yeah. I thought it was a good icebreaker. Get us talking, get us warmed up, get back into the swing. Beer talk. It's good stuff.
Speaking of ice and breaking, Hurricane Ian. There's no ice.
There's no ice.
Oh,
but one could say the both are, symptoms of a bigger problem. Jesus Christ.
I was going to say, Mike, a better way would have gone is like, watching a lot of footage of Florida, seeing a lot of cops on those segways. You know what? That's a good segue into Hurricane Ian.
Fuck you. So before we started recording, we were talking about Mitch, you're in North Carolina now, so you got a little piece of that, right?
We got I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina, and if you looked at the...
Wait, do you live in North Carolina?
Just for a while now.
Okay.
But if you looked at the map, it was the first time I've ever checked weather every 2 hours, because when the hurricane hit Florida the hardest, I think it was Wednesday of last week, something like that. And we were moving into our apartment on Thursday. So that weekend. So the hurricane was supposed to move up the coast into North Carolina by Friday and Saturday, and our moving pod was going to get here on Saturday. So we were expecting torrential rain on the day we're supposed to be moving all our furniture in, and it's just me and my wife moving all our crap in, and we were like, oh, this is going to be great. But as it turns out, we just caught just the bare edge of the hurricane. If you look at the map, you could see that where we were, it was just barely touched it. It was pretty funny. So we got some rain, cleared right up when we moved in, so that was nice. And that was that. So luckily we didn't get any of that. We did get a flash flood warning though. That was pretty bizarre. And normally we get flash flood warnings where I used to live in like the foothills and stuff, but it was like, But when you're in a new place, you're like, oh shit. But
maybe it's real here. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's real here.
They actually have water here. It blows my mind.
Yeah.
Well, it must be nice.
Enjoy that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, enjoy the humidity when summer rolls around, because it's going to be killer.
Yeah, not looking forward to that. That and the bugs will be.
It's like North Carolina is like one giant swamp.
Yeah, we're right on the northern side, right next to, is it Virginia? That's right there, I think. Anyway.
Yeah.
I will say
I
the
know
tobacco
nuts.
though, probably top notch.
Oh, probably, huh? You know what's unfortunate?
Start smoking.
It's a, it's like a sign of the area, and it was one thing I was like, wait, what the fuck? And my wife's like, it's the South. Calm down. We're not too, holy shit.
What?
We're not too far from a major highway. And our nearest like shopping center, it's got all like, you know, the Target, the McDonald's, all the, you know, all the like whatever stuff that we drive to. It's called Plantation Square.
Yeah.
Is the name of the shopping center. And it's like, it was one that I'm like, oh shit, they haven't changed that yet, have they?
Well, they're
That
not
was
going to change it. Like that's
No, that was surprising, but
At least it wasn't like, General Lee Square.
yeah.
that would be in Virginia actually,
No.
not in North Carolina.
Well, either way.
Know your history.
So, yeah, Hurricane Ian. So I have a commentary on this.
Okay.
Slightly
We
political.
should have launched nukes at it, right? We should have
were-
launched nukes at it.
We were live tweeting as hurricane was happening.
No, so a slight commentary on this that's political. It was interesting to me. So I watched this little press conference thing through a podcast I watch. So this guy was commenting on it, but it was pretty much Biden and DeSantis at a joint press conference discussing it. And I was like, this is how it should always be. Because you have, like, Biden had said some harsh words about Trump supporters. DeSantis has said a lot of harsh shit about Democrats and Biden. But then this thing happens, and the two of them work together, and they complement each other, and it's like, so this can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The crazy insults and all that shit doesn't need to happen. That's all political theater. So when shit hits the fan, y'all are taking it seriously. You're getting along. You're working together. You're getting shit done. Why can't this be the norm when there's not an emergency?
I mean,
It's just something I thought about, and that's what the guy I was listening to. He was commenting on that as well.
the first thought that comes to my mind is, in fact, it's not so much like, why can't it always be like this? It's, for me, it's more like, this is how it normally is. It isn't as divisive as mainstream makes it out to be, because at the end of the day, they still care about people. I mean, as much as any other normal person would. So I think for a moment we saw some reality and some humanity, people actually coming together and uniting a little bit.
Danny?
Maybe a little bit.
I don't know. I think it's all in that political theater thing. And put on your tinfoil hats, because I'm going to go down a rabbit hole.
Go.
There we go.
I think it's all like the constant quibbling, the back and forth. I think it's all just a big distraction. Distracting us. It's like look at the shiny ball. Look at the shiny ball, and with the other hand, they're making the real political moves over here. So yeah, I mean, I'm just like, what? So while we're focused on this right now, what are they sneaking through? And I'm not just talking about Republicans or Democrats. I'm talking about all of it. Like, what are they trying to do right now and distracting us? Like, the whole overturning of Roe v. Wade, that was a distraction as much as it sucked. It's like, okay, put all the attention on this. What aren't we seeing happening behind closed doors now?
Well,
There was an example of that during Trump's presidency too, because I agree. It's usually anytime there's grandstanding, I'm always the same, looking, okay, what's really happening over there or whatever. There was examples, and I can't think of any, so I'll just drop it. But I know that happens a lot, where there'll be the news coverage of this insane thing that's happening, and then all of a sudden on the side there's like actual law being passed that everyone's like, wait, no one saw that. But
well, and I would agree, but with this, I think it's different because I don't think they concocted a hurricane.
Hey man, they got the weather machine.
To it.
They
Alex
got the weather
Jones
machine,
did.
man. I was there, man. I saw it happen.
My point is, like, you have these, and this could transition to a different topic. You have the political theater where you have Pelosi and Schumer with their African scarves taking a knee in front of the cameras. You have Marjorie Taylor Greene in a prison cell praying for a fake prisoner. You have all these political theater shit, and then you have something that is serious and needs to be taken care of, and all of a sudden, like, they're getting along. Because, like, DeSantis is also someone who loves political theater, but shit hit the fan. He needed federal help, and they got along. They shared a stage, and they were shaking hands, and it was fine. I even remember several years ago during the wildfires in California. Granted, I'm not a fan of the man, but like Trump came down, and him and Gavin Newsom were like checking out the fire together, and they were standing, and they were talking, and they were discussing, and it was nice. And it just kind of bothered me. That's like, why can't that just be the norm? Which, Mitch, you said it like that used to kind of be the norm. But now it seems like there's more political theater, and as the norm, I don't know. I'm not fucking ranting.
No, I kind of agree with Danny. What I think it's just all, and it's not even like a theory. I call this like just truth for me, is that it's not if anything, it keep watching so that they can play more commercials and they'll get more money. And when there's a natural disaster and everyone needs to come together, they work and it's great. And our leaders do what we voted for them to do. When there's not something to rave about, if there's not a war or a disaster or a depression, they invent shit to get everyone hyped about. And I shouldn't say invent things, but they like overhype things. And that's where you get the theater and the divisive political, and look how horrible this is, life and death, because, oh my God, they might vote differently about abortion. And that is going to be the end of America. And that's that. When in reality, it's perspective wise, it's like not that big of a deal, but they make it bigger of a deal until something actually comes along that's actually a big deal, and then you're like, oh shit, wait, I guess they do get along on the on the important things.
What's it, Danny? Who was the wrestler turned politician?
There's been a bunch, dude.
Goldberg.
Jesse Ventura.
It was Jesse Ventura, and then Kane.
Kane?
Yeah, Kane became, I want to say, governor of or mayor of some town in Tennessee or something.
Well, fuck Kane. I was talking about Jesse Ventura.
Yeah.
One thing I remember he said years ago was politics is like professional wrestling. And on camera they're all fighting, but then behind the scenes they're all hugging and getting along.
Yeah.
And I do feel like it used to be like that, but I feel like now it's a little more real, like the actual tension is real.
I mean,
that's just me.
The clearest example of why that for me, it rang true, and I don't know if it was for most people, was how true it was that it was all just mostly just staged and overhyped, was the Democratic primary debates between Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, and Harris calling Biden a racist because he was like, he was doing all this, what was it? It was the busing. He like didn't vote for the busing thing or something like that. It
was something like that, like in the 80s or 90s. I remember, yeah.
But she called him a racist, and then a month later, he named her the vice president, and they both were like, what? What? Come on. And for me, I was like, okay, there you go. So,
and you know what? You're right, because that shit, there's that, people still talk about that, how, like, Harris went at Biden hard.
Yeah.
And Biden was just like, all right, well, it should be my VP. And then to kind of pivot, too, even, like, on the Republican side, the primaries in 2016 were fucking wild.
Yeah,
like,
that was dark.
Trump
dark
was
times.
Trump was like calling Cruz's wife a dog. Like he was insulting these men, and as soon as he got the nomination, they were like, "All right, cool, these are guys."
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah,
it was like
and they became lapdogs. Yeah.
The
Trump
wasn't that
Harris.
I disagree, Danny. I don't think they changed. I think just the veil came down. They stopped acting, and that's really what it was. It was they all knew it was all bullshit, but. I think it was just all they were like, yeah, we're going to hype shit up and we're going to post that we're mad about it. And the news is going to report about how crazy this is. And then at the end of the day, they're like, I don't care. It's all bullshit.
Well, so pivoting, because I actually do, this is a good group here to get a variety of opinions. How do we feel? We're a little late on it, but how does the group feel so we're talking about Florida, DeSantis, about the whole, I am blanking on the name.
The immigration.
He flew the immigrants up to Martha's
Vineyard. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do we feel about this? Someone go
fucking
first.
hilarious, terrible, grandstanding. I wouldn't have done it, but still pretty funny. You got to laugh at shit like this, because what else can you do?
Kidnap. Hilarious.
Yeah. Well, we transport prisoners all the time. That's not necessarily kidnapping.
But they weren't prisoners.
They were what do they call it? Non-citizens or citizenship challenged, whatever. They were here in
citizenship challenged. Sorry.
Whatever they call it. They were in custody. They were in custody, so they were transporting prisoners.
They weren't in custody.
What would you call it then?
They were
legal aliens.
Yeah, go
on. Who were lured into a bus and then onto a plane with the promise of work and whatever else, immigrants come into this country for, and then flown from, I think, Texas to Florida, and then from Florida up to Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah, I heard that they were lured and promised too. The problem is that one side says they were lured, other side said they were volunteered, so it's kind of hearsay as to how they got into the buses.
But both things are right. If you're lured, you volunteer to go.
Yeah.
So, it's both correct.
But anyway, using people as political pawns is always fucked up.
Okay, I'm glad you said that, because that was my opinion on it. Is I always roll my eyes at the political theater. Like I said, the whole Schumer and Pelosi with the fucking African scarves and kneeling. I always roll my eyes at that shit. But when you're actually using real people is when I kind of draw the line. It's okay, now you're fucking with people.
You cut me off with the but though. But it's not like it's not like flying people from the border to places inland is so out of this world, because there are plans, and the political plans never really work, but they were planning to have relief centers inland. They said somewhere in actually in the mainland United States, away from the border, to alleviate the stress that on these border cities. So it's not like it's like, oh my God, they moved people. Can you believe that? It's like, no, yeah, they do that. They send them from center to center. They were talking about moving them to states inland. That wasn't that far-fetched. Now, it is outlandish to use people as political, things. And we can say we're above it, but both sides do it all the time. We had, the... what's her name, AOC at the border taking pictures and looking all sad and using people as political things.
Okay.
But
if I can cut you off.
Yeah.
I agree. The AOC shit is obnoxious as well. When she did that photo op where she was like, hold on to the gate. But no, she wasn't putting in anyone, she wasn't transporting anyone. She wasn't, she was using people, but she wasn't moving people. The thing with DeSantis is that he moved these people, and from what I read, some of these people had hearings coming up for their migration status. So he fucked with them. He could potentially fuck their shit up based on this thing. And so I do agree that AOC, that whole photo op is fucking cringeworthy. But this, he actually is now fucking with people's lives. And I know the whole coverage of it, a lot of people on the right were like, oh yeah, fucking owned. But really, I think, I don't know where I'm going with this, but that kind of acting crosses the line for me. Like I said, I roll my eyes at all this fucking political theater, but as long as you're not fucking with anyone's life, fine. Be your dramatic self. But this crossed the line because now he was actually directly fucking with people's lives. You understand what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
I understand. It's where I'm kind of on the fence a little bit, because on the other hand, I look at it from Governor Abbott's point of view, in that we are overwhelmed. We have way more people coming over, and it's getting worse every day. Not only is the administration not helping, but they're saying stuff that's actually making the flow of people even worse. They have no idea what it's like in these southern cities where they're just becoming overrun. They need to know. Maybe give them a little bit of, sample of what it is. What can you do? Invite them down here? That's not going to work, because they're just going to go home anyway. So we loaded 49 people to Martha's Vineyard, and now they were out within 24 hours, in a bus, sending them back within 24 hours. And it was yeah, it's crazy, right? When you get all these people that you don't know what to do with. Hello, this is what we're trying to do here. So I see the point.
So
I don't know if I 100% agree with the execution, but I see the point.
But I just want to be clear. Sending them to Martha's Vineyard, which is an island off season with no jobs, a small population, and little resources, is the way to prove the point. So I'm going to say, I understand the immigration issue, but there's ways to go about it like adults.
Agreed. I'll agree to that. Yeah.
If your kid is whining and fussing and throwing a fit, you can either punch them or you could sit them down and have a talk.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the best
Maybe the kid's a
analogy,
weird fucking metaphor.
No, but I do get the point. Like Martha's Vineyard it was an obviously political move. If they wanted to truly make a point and truly help these people, they would have sent them to New York or Washington, D.C. or somewhere inland where they don't have this deal.
And give them a heads up. Be like, hey, whoever the fucking mayor of New York is, hey, we're overwhelmed here. We're going to get some of these people voluntarily and move them up there. Are you good with that? Because we need help. And then if New York was like, fuck off, I would be 100%. DeSantis is like, hey, look we try to communicate, and New York told us to fuck off.
Yeah.
Then I'd be on board.
Was it DeSantis that did it? I thought it was Texas.
DeSantis was responsible for it, but they were from Texas. Yeah.
So
because I thought Abbott did it and DeSantis supported. That's what I heard. But
the thing
I think it was
pisses
opposite.
me off, if Abbott is saying we don't have space in Texas for these people, Texas is the second largest state of our country. And
yeah,
I'm
it's not.
willing to
It's
bet
not.
the space per
I think
capita.
it's more resources than actual space.
It's people. It's money. It's they ran out of buildings really, and they were like
Too many Californians coming in. I get it.
Right. That's what it was.
But I think
I hate when Californians
just
move to another state and they make that state worse.
Be careful, man. They're going to start busing and flying Californians out of the states, sending them back to California.
But I think that's actually a more mature way to go about it. Like, so San Francisco claims they're a sanctuary city, right? So if Abbott or DeSantis, they're both kind of border states, goes, hey, we have all these immigrants that are waiting for their legal status. You're a sanctuary city. Can we bus them to you? And then when San Francisco says no, there's your political point.
Okay, see, I thought that's why they chose Martha's Vineyard, because they claim to be a sanctuary city.
I don't think Martha's Vineyard is.
No,
okay.
I mean, it's too small. Like it's an island. Like you don't send more people.
No, but it was so obviously a political statement, and that's why it was kind of like, oh my god, notoriety. It's right in their face, because Martha's Vineyard being notorious for the left elite being there. Obama had his birthday celebration in the middle of COVID, or was planning his birthday celebration there in the middle of COVID. So it's like, it wasn't random. This was obviously picked for that. So
for that reason, yeah.
Anyway, again, it's like I agree with the intent. I don't think I agree 100% with the execution. So,
and you know what?
Yeah,
I might take some flack for it. I actually would agree with the intent as well. Like, bring some fucking attention to this issue. But I just think when you're actually fucking with people's lives, like, what if Martha's Vineyard, from my understanding, the people came together, they found some shelter like a church or a gym or something, so they housed the people, they got them food, and they had the National Guard come in and take them somewhere where they could be taken care of. So good for them, whatever. But what if they weren't equipped? Like, so now you have 48 people who just fucking get off a plane and die? That's dramatic, but I'm saying, what if this island was very ill-equipped?
Yeah.
Which they already were.
That literally was the point he's trying to make. It's like, look, in Texas, we're maxed out. We have nothing. They're crossing the border, and they have nowhere to go. They're being crammed into these places. But
in this very illogical extreme example, he's okay with sacrificing lives to make a political point. It's an extreme example. I get it. But that's my point, is that that's the lines crossed.
No, he knew they'd be taken care of, and everyone knew they'd be taken care of, and everyone's just... I think the right is overhyping the severity of, like, their desperation. We're that desperate, there's nowhere else to go, and the right's kind of overhyping that. I think the left is overhyping, oh my god, these are people's lives that we're endangering, and it's like, yeah, but what about the other million or so that have passed over this past month? Are you, like, going to pretend you care about them too, or what?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I think it's you can make both points, that there's still this immigration issue, but some of these people, from what I read, and it could be wrong, did have like appointments and hearings that they were scheduled to go to for their immigration status, and this whole thing could have possibly fucked it up. Now, Danny touched on something that, and I'm not a legal person, that technically they could possibly get them for trafficking. I'm not going to argue the point.
They're trying.
I know some people are.
Case together.
By luring people onto a plane or transportation with false pretenses to take them somewhere is kind of trafficking. Now, do I think DeSantis will get in trouble for that, or Abbott? No, I think that's it won't happen. But it's just kind of an interesting thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry, but I think that's kind of an example of abusing the definition of a word, calling it trafficking and human trafficking, because all that does, in my opinion, is just lower the value of that word. Human trafficking, they transported refugees from one place to another. They do that every day, all the time, whether they want to or not. And to call it human trafficking, but
like there's usually a communication set up or a plan set up. There was no plan. These people got off the plane, and everybody's like, "The fuck you doing here?"
Yeah, I mean, but the same can be said about Martha's Vineyard and sending them back. They loaded them on buses and sent them somewhere else.
Not true.
Too. So they
Not
just
true.
be no.
There was a plan. There was a plan when they sent them back.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then yeah.
It wasn't just pile in this bus. I don't know what's going to happen to you. No, they're not going to do that.
Well, they didn't get on a bus in Martha's Vineyard. They'd go right into the ocean.
Just push them off the dock.
And that's no good for anyone.
It's good for the sharks.
Enough of that one. Here's a lighter topic. Have either of you heard the Danny DeVito rule?
No.
So the Danny DeVito rule is if changing the actor of a character to Danny DeVito makes the character a psycho, then he's always been a psycho.
Huh.
For instance,
Okay.
50 Shades of Grey. The character's name's Christian Grey, if I recall.
Yes.
If Danny DeVito played that character,
God,
he would probably look and feel like a psychopath.
Interesting. Okay.
So does that mean that character has always been a psychopath? He's just always been played by someone sexy. That's the idea of the rule.
Oh, I love it.
And what other examples could we find with the Danny DeVito rule?
Well, I want to say the character of Christian Grey is not a psychopath. He's more of a sociopath.
Fine, but if Danny DeVito is playing him,
it's suddenly not
how
cool.
do we interpret that character?
Well, because so what you're basing this on is essentially physical looks and attraction.
Yes.
So if they're not a sexy, successful businessman with a kink, then they're a psychopath.
How do we interpret the character? Yes.
Okay. Because I mean, so by that logic, if fucking I don't know, Tom Cruise plays the dad in Matilda, does that make him a better person?
No. The point of it is that these characters with heavy flaws are overlooked because of their sexiness. But then if you put someone in there that their looks don't.
Okay. Example: Danny DeVito as Mr. Miyagi in Karate Kid. Because now he's not this wise sage with a cool accent. Now he's just a weird middle-aged guy doing child labor in his backyard.
That is a great example.
I said wax on, wax off. You do it again, I'm coming in blasting.
Not up, down, damn it. Danielson.
That needs to be an edit. Someone needs to edit that.
Danny DeVito as Willy Wonka.
Yes. Well, I mean, Willy Wonka
was a psychopath. Yeah.
So.
There you go.
But it'd be worse.
And it could be just charming, quirky Gene Wilder, or charming, quirky Johnny Depp, or not charming, very quirky Danny DeVito. It's a very different tune. But
Danny DeVito as Jigsaw.
When did the Oompa Loompas take over the factory?
I'm sorry, Danny first, then Mike. Was it?
Said, when did the Oompa Loompas take over the factory?
He was just promoted.
I believe that storyline a lot more, yeah. Oh, man.
I was going to say Danny DeVito as Jigsaw.
Oh, that'd be good.
That makes sense. You don't need a little puppet. You can just have him on the tricycle.
Yep. Nothing would change.
Nothing would change.
Hello, Sarah. I want to play a game.
Yeah, so I saw a meme that described the Danny DeVito rule, and that just made me start thinking about
rules. I love it. Now I'm just
put Danny DeVito as Tony Stark, and suddenly he seems kind of crazy.
No, I'd see that's a character that makes more sense to me. Danny DeVito as this tech billionaire CEO, whatever, who's had enough and decides to start fighting crime. Yeah, I can see that.
You're gonna need a lot more CGI for the suit, though.
Yeah. A lot more.
We're talking servers.
I'm trying to think of like a movie or a role everyone loves, but if you like take a step back, it's kind of creepy. That everyone loves just because of that actor. So, okay, Magic Mike.
They did that on Friends. They did that on Friends. How fucking dare you?
Oh, that's right. DeVito did the stripper. Oh, that was funny.
Did they?
That was good.
It was comedy gold, but good.
Perfect.
God, watching him take off clothes is just... Oh. Poor
Danny
Rhea
DeVito
Perlman.
as Forrest Gump.
I don't know. Watching DeVito play a mentally challenged person would be hard, man.
Especially
Go
the
full
running
retard.
scenes. Yeah.
It'd be funny to see DeVito play the main guy in Cuckoo's Nest. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. That'd be funny.
Murphy?
Yeah.
That would be great.
It would be really good.
I can
I
see
would
that.
Yeah.
love that.
I can see that.
That was like one of his DeVito's first like movie roles, wasn't it? Was in Cuckoo's Nest. But like, can you picture him like older playing Murphy? That'd be rad.
Yeah. What else?
DeVito playing Dexter. Everyone would have a very different idea of Dexter.
Yes.
That'd
Great
be
example.
awesome.
Yes.
Okay, this is pretty good.
Danny DeVito as... I was hoping something came to me.
Yeah. No. All right.
I'm just trying to think like who's like our morally corrupt like guys that we like love. Danny DeVito as Littlefinger.
As who?
But
Littlefinger?
I think Littlefinger's a psychopath anyway.
Well, I mean, he's one of those guys that you love, like you love to hate and hate to love. Danny DeVito playing Daemon Targaryen.
I mean, I'm not completely caught up, but I know he's already kind of psycho, so that fits already.
Are you guys watching Rings of Power?
No.
Are you guys watching Andor?
No.
Andor? I want to watch Andor.
Stellar.
I've heard it's really good.
Stellar. Then this is coming from me, who looks for reasons to hate shit. Andor is really good, and
Well,
like
it's like a slow burn. It's like a real slow burn.
the past episode or two have been, unfortunately, but it was my biggest mistake to start watching it because now I'm like, when the episode ends, I'm like, fuck, I gotta wait for the next, But it's really good. So we'll have to do a review on it because
Have we
It's
been
like
watching
it's a spy
She-Hulk?
thriller, right?
it kind of, it's more like like a guerrilla, warfare kind of,
Okay. Hit
mixed
run.
with some mercenary and mixed with like a lot of like the resistance against the Empire. You really believe the kind of rebellion because it's on several levels. They do it on different levels, and you'll know when you watch it. But it's really good.
Okay.
Really good.
Mitch, have you watched She-Hulk at all?
No, not yet. No, I'm still getting caught up. I watched what is it? The Widow of Color. Because we're watching them in chronological order. So it was Ant-Man. I think it was Widow of Color, and then Spider-Man. And we don't know how to find Spider-Man because it's not on any streaming services.
Spider-Man's on...
It's,
Oh, no, you're right. It's not streaming, I don't think.
because it's
Yeah.
Sony owned.
Yeah, because
I
we
know
were
it's-
watching them on Disney Plus. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So we might skip it for now and go straight to Doctor Strange. But
shoot me
yeah.
a message, or remind me when we stop the podcast and we're just talking afterwards. I have my Movies Everywhere account that I can.
Oh
with.
shit! Okay,
It's on there.
There you go.
awesome. Yeah.
But for
But-
now, you probably can skip it without much consequence.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I figured. But
Because there's nothing... It's a good movie. There's nothing after it that, like, really you need to know.
So Civil War was basically Spider-Man's origin, pretty much, right? In
In the MCU, yes.
That was his first
yeah,
appearance.
okay.
Yeah.
In that one, yeah, I mean that one, but yeah. So we're getting caught up, but no, I have not seen the She-Hulk yet. But
I'd be curious about your opinions about She-Hulk.
It's a woke leftist agenda.
Well, I've actually heard, because universally, if you like it or dislike it, everyone's saying the CGI is dog shit.
Yes, it is dog shit.
If you like it or dislike it, everyone's like, yeah, the CGI sucks.
that sucks.
And yeah, then there's a lot of people who are just like, it's just a woke show and meh, meh.
I am 6 episodes in. I just finished the 6th episode of the Dahmer show.
I can't get on board with that shit, man.
I haven't watched it, but what do you think about it?
We've only watched 6 episodes. It feels like 60. Every episode is like packed full of just the darkest shit, and I'm loving it. I'm just like I'm loving it, but it's like just so just. It's setting the standard for just dark shit that's being produced. It's just terrible to say, because for the longest time, do you guys know the movie Dahmer where Jeremy Renner played Jeffrey Dahmer? Did you ever see that?
I didn't watch it. I know what you're talking about, but I haven't watched it.
It was an early career role he played, and I thought it was phenomenal. But forever I've been telling people, like, yeah, he played Dahmer. You probably don't need to see it, because holy shit, it's pretty effed up. Compared to this show, it wasn't that bad. So, so there's a lot of just dark stuff in it, but they're doing, as far as I can tell, they're doing it justice in that, yeah, this guy was horrible. So
from what I've heard about it, I've heard some people say it's really good, but the most people, like what I've seen the most of, is that everyone thinks that actor, whose name eludes me at the moment.
Evan Peters.
Thank you.
There you go.
Evan Peters.
That he is phenomenal in the role, but they said outside of that, the show is meh. But that he carries it.
That's kind of like saying Forrest Gump is good, but if it wasn't for everyone else in the show, it's like, no, it's like all Forrest Gump. It's all what it is all about. And a lot of it is just him, just focused on him. So, yeah, no, it's one of those. Sorry, go ahead.
It wasn't Evan Peters. It was Ralph Boner.
Oh, fuck you. You're not caught up on the MCU yet.
I'm not wrong. I am not wrong.
Worst. Anyway.
Who's Ralph Boner?
It's a stupid fucking character he plays in the MCU. You'll see it.
Oh,
see it eventually.
The Silver Man, right? Or a Quicksilver? No,
allegedly, yes.
I saw WandaVision, and I saw that great moment where they crossed universes in WandaVision. I thought that was hilarious.
They didn't, though. That's Ralph Boner. That's not Quicksilver.
Okay.
Don't get me started. I'll be fucking mad.
Okay. All right. Moving on.
Move on. Before Mike loses his shit. Speaking of, we're talking about this shit. Might as well go on to. We're a little late on this, and we don't need to talk about it a lot.
We already talked about Martha's Vineyard. What do you?
Black Ariel.
Oh, Black Ariel. Blariel. Yeah.
Who the fuck cares, man?
So no, here's my question. We don't have to talk about Ariel. My question is, what is our general opinion on flipping the races of characters? Just open conversation. I have my opinions. I'll let you guys start.
I mean, if there was an audition and like she was like the most talented that auditioned and got the part solely based on that, and that's why they're like changing everything up to kind of make it make sense, cool. But if they're just like, no, we want her to be black because we have a message, that's kind of like, all right, come on.
I've heard this argument made, and I can't help but agree with it. It was the same argument that Daniel Craig made about 007. Why do we feel the need to replace characters that are created with something else? Why can't we just? I'm gonna word it wrong. Why feel the need to replace it? Why can't you create new characters? If that's what like Danny, what you were talking about, is that if they wanted to make a Disney princess that was black and her own thing, why replace one? Why not make a new one? Why do you have to replace one? I think my sister asked it. She's like, well, what's going to happen at Disneyland when they have the characters come out and Ariel comes out? Which one's going to come out? Are they both going to come out or what? It's kind of. I mean, that's a minute kind of maybe nitpicky thing, but it's kind of like we know what they look like, unfortunately, but that's what TV is a character that looks like something. But I don't know. It's interesting. It's very interesting. It was one that, Danny, you hit it on the nose when Mike first brought it up, is who the fuck cares? I always hated Ariel as a character, as a movie, everything. That like just is stupid. I mean, and I love Disney, but I hated Ariel. And then so when this whole thing came out, I was like, I don't care. I really don't care. But everyone says I should care, so what's my opinion? I don't know.
All right.
Reminds me of a joke. Why does Ariel wear seashells? Because the bee shells were too small.
I knew it was coming.
That was good.
So
That
I
was
think
good.
I don't really care what race she is as long as she's sexualized.
Boom.
Yeah, let's be real here.
I mean, let's be honest. Disney's probably thinking the same thing.
I'm thinking all those poor 30-something-year-old guys that grew up watching The Little Mermaid, and that's where they discovered their redhead fetish. And finally, they're like, a live-action Ariel, this is going to reawaken something in me. And then find out how it was cast, and you're like, this is fine.
I thought you were going to go the other way. I thought you were going to be like, yeah, this is going to be awesome. And then you're like, oh, she's 16. So
no, that's not the issue. The age isn't the issue.
Of course not. No, so
You know what? As long as they get Snoop Dogg to play Flounder, I'm good with it.
I'd be good at that too.
Woo.
So I think
Yo, shit,
not just Ariel,
what the fuck you doing?
but across the board, because this has been a topic that's come up before in our cultures. I don't give a shit what race a character is unless the race informs the character. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
In Ariel's, in Ariel's case, it doesn't really matter because it's not a real species. And there was a black mermaid in one of the cartoons. I remember they had a screenshot of it. But if a character is informed by race, then I would be opposed to changing the race.
Okay.
But I have not seen a case where that was the case. I haven't seen a race flip to where it violates the character in that sense.
I think it's because in Rings of Power, I know you guys said aren't watching it, but one of the biggest things, unfortunately, that everyone's raising shit about is the fact that there are black elves and there are multiracial people in this Lord of the Rings setting. And if you look at it objectively, it's like, yeah, that makes total sense. Why? Who says that, the Lord of the Rings is all strictly white? That's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. I mean, when Martin, not Martin, oh my God, when Tolkien,
when Martin Scorsese wrote,
no, I meant J.R. Martin. When Martin wrote Lord of the Rings,
J.R. Martin,
when
George R.
I'm sure he thinks he did. No, but when Tolkien wrote Lord of the Rings at the time, he based it on English history and drew the whole mythology from that. And yeah, they were all white in ancient medieval English history. But today, here we have this, perspective of this fantasy medieval land. They'd be all kinds of they'd be all the races, and it's beautiful. And watching Rings of Power, it's awesome because it's like, yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what really matters is, are they elven or are they human? We're going to invent another kind of race to bitch about, not the color of their skin. No. So
what's what? Go on, sorry.
You saw it in, I hate to say that the video game culture had the lead on it, but you saw it in the Fallout series, in the Oblivion series. You run into these other characters, these NPCs, that are all different kind of races, and you could create your own character to be whatever race or gender you want. And it's beautiful because you realize that it really doesn't matter compared to everyone else. So now there's all this hate about these black elves and stuff in Rings of Power. My wife is showing me the hate that these actors are getting, and it's terrible. So there's a healthy way in which you can but destroy the old paradigms of they all have to be white or whatever. It's like, no, who says they have to all be white? Let's mix it up. In Ariel's case, I don't know though. I don't know.
Well, so I was going to say something. So I remember a while back I was talking to, I think it was someone at the bar, but we were talking about Thor. And the MCU Thor, and how his crew, if you will, had like an Asian, white dude, chick, and then what's his name?
Yeah.
Idris Elba as Danny, character name?
Heimdall,
just forgot it. Is a black guy. How that's okay because this is not historical. These are fictional characters, a fictional version of these gods. Fine, but if you were to do granted they're not real, but like a historical version of Nordic history, it would be weird if there was a black guy. But it's not. That's not what it is, though. It's kind of like Hamilton, the musical. It's a fictional portrayal of these guys, so who cares what race they are? But if you're doing a biopic on Hamilton, it would be a little odd if he's Asian. So I think there are those lines to draw. And I remember, but yeah, so that it's in my head, and I know you talked about it a little bit. But like, if Will Smith is Daniel character name,
The genie.
no, the fucking marksman,
Oh, Deadshot.
Deadshot. I almost said Bullseye. Wrong character. That was technically a race flip from what he was traditionally known as, but there was no reason why he had to be white.
Yeah.
So who gives a shit?
Yeah.
There's other characters too, but even to make another point,
even Nick
Go on.
Fury. Nick Fury started out as a white character, and then they changed it. Like some artist got it in his head. It's like, hey, I really want to see Samuel L. Jackson as this character, so he started drawing Nick Fury to be Samuel L. Jackson, and then lo and behold, who gets cast as the part of Nick Fury? Sam fucking Jackson.
well, yeah,
So-
and there's nothing about that character that needs to be a certain race.
Exactly.
Though. There's
Yeah.
nothing about it. Now,
Nothing about it.
to take the other side though, like a character like Steve Rogers, not Captain America, Steve Rogers, if they made him black or a different race, it would rub me the wrong way because it would make no sense.
Mm-hmm.
World War II guy making him a super soldier, they're not doing that to a black guy in 1940.
Nope.
That's not racist to
Yeah.
say. That's just it wouldn't make sense.
Well, even
I hear you.
like was it the new show, the Captain America and the Winter Soldier show? They kind of touch on that
Yeah.
whole aspect because there's that one guy who went into the super soldier program, got the super soldier whatever mumbo jumbo, and was like a spec ops kind of like a black ops type of character for the for
The
Marvel.
army, whatever. Yeah.
Or the army, whatever, what have you. And yeah, when Sam meets him, he's like, "Whoa, well, why haven't you come forward?" He's like, "Look at me, dude. They're just gonna deny everything."
Yeah, and he was treated like shit.
Yeah.
But so there are characters that, like, I would say white characters that would not make sense to change the race. Wolverine, I think could be argued, would not make sense to change his race. Danny, you're the- Because this dude, so granted my knowledge is limited, but based on the movies anyway, this dude has lived several centuries. He's fought in many
Yes.
wars. So it wouldn't make sense to him if he was black fighting in the Revolutionary War, or maybe. But you understand what I'm saying? Like, there's certain aspects to his story to where it wouldn't make sense for him to be a different race unless they recreated his origin story.
Yeah.
Because that's where even like Black Panther, someone's like, why don't they make Black Panther white then? Meh. And it's like, no, it's a character in Africa with like familial ties that go back generations of being black. It would make no sense. I don't know. That's where I just I see some of these arguments and I'm like, bleh.
I agree. There are some characters that, I mean, yeah, it's the truth of writing a character is that race does play a part in it. Like how tall he is plays a part in it.
That's
How
why
they
black
look
black
plays...
black hobbits don't make sense.
That's dumb.
Go on.
But they still be taller than all the other hobbits, though.
But all
They'd
the
be
like, but going back to Ariel, it's like, yeah, does Ariel's character really matter based on her race? And it's like, well, no. The thing though, if you go back to the original story of Ariel, you realize that Disney hugely veered from the original Grimm tale of Ariel and the whole story. They kind of made it their own thing. And in that, they made it their own image as well as this, this redhead, little mermaid. So it's like, yeah, I get it. The character of Ariel, if you go back to like the Grimm's fairy tales and all that, then yeah, it kind of was it Grimm? I'm like,
Yeah, it was Grimm.
Blanking.
It was
Okay.
They were Grimm tales. And that's the thing. Like, you're dealing with, Grimm, Hans Christian Andersen. All these people were writing in medieval Europe,
Right.
where black people were not prominent. So you wouldn't run into them. They wouldn't be around.
So in a modern sense, though, it's like, hey, let's look
It
at the
makes
fairy tale.
sense to do
Why
that,
not?
yeah.
Why not? But they are directly recreating a famous Disney movie, and that's the image of that they had. It wasn't. They didn't make Lion King and make them sea lions. They, it's kind of they didn't
Well,
change shit up
that
just
would be
because it
great.
looked different. It'd be pretty awesome, but it's
Go on. Sorry.
yeah. No, that's pretty much it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think in the Little Mermaid's case, it's kind of like what Danny said. Who gives a shit? And to me, personally, I understand like this is what it was, but I don't think it's a big deal because I think like Danny said, she probably just did the best audition and she got cast. What was kind of funny is I didn't even think like the whole Disneyland thing, and that to me I was like, oh shit, like that.
That's where it's going to be an issue.
It's going to be interesting. It's yeah.
That's the problem with money grabs. Like, hey, let's make money on this old cartoon that we have and make it live action. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and so. It's like, and to go back to, I'm pretty sure it was Daniel Craig that said it about 007 because there was talks of making 007 a woman, and he said, this is ridiculous. Rather than change something, why don't you make a character for women so that way, everyone wins here. But what was I going to say? Shit, I forgot.
Well, no, because you can make 007 a woman because 007 is just a code name.
Yeah, right. It's not James Bond making James Bond.
Yeah.
Right.
I would agree. I would agree with that. If they made like a Jane Bond, I'd be like, fuck off.
Fuck off. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but if the endeavor of Disney remaking these famous movies into live action movies and wanting to change things up, it's like, yeah, we want to remake all the old classic Disney movies, and oh shit, we have a problem. They're all white guys and they're white girls. Man, that's not really going to be diverse. Yeah, then you shouldn't do it. You should make new movies or whatever. But
that's fair.
I'm okay with that. Actually, that's actually a good point, Mitch.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, just make it. Do the hard work and make something new.
I think that's part of the problem anyway. This might be a transition. I think that's part of the problem anyway. I think that's why all the remakes are happening anyway.
Yeah,
it's because people can't think of shit.
Yeah, it's just laziness and it's
people can think of shit. They just don't sell. New ideas do not sell.
Yeah, people like
not as well. You're right. Yeah.
Their comfy old notions and whatnot.
Yeah, if it guarantees a set amount of tickets sold. If they pitched they tried it with the Frog Prince and they were like, oh shit, well, or Frog Princess, whatever it was. It was like they were making that one. They were like coming up with new ideas. And I haven't done the research, but I'm willing to bet that the new movies that come out from Disney probably don't earn as much as the brand new as the remakes of the classics. So I don't know.
Probably something to be said about that.
But then you get a movie like Bullet Train.
I was going to say
is essentially a new thing like that hasn't been done.
I was going to say you get a movie like Encanto, which was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. It's a new idea. It was phenomenal.
Or something like that.
Yeah, Moana or whatever. It's like, yeah.
You guys watch way too many fucking kids movies.
My wife is
flicks, dude.
My wife is like, I'm going to watch this, and I'm like, ew, dumb. I want to watch like guy movies, and then she puts it on, and like 10 minutes in, I'm
sure I'd be stuck to the screen too.
Yeah.
But no, they have success in writing creative new stuff. I don't know why. They feel like they have to replace things, so
it's all buzz and it's money grabs, dude.
Yeah.
It's just
that's really what it is.
We're gonna hit these people because they know our generation is really heavy on the nostalgia, and it's like we're gonna hit those millennials so fucking hard with this shit. We're gonna make so much fucking money.
See, now I'm wondering. Imagine a remake of The Little Mermaid, where they did just the straight, complete recreation of The Little Mermaid, but as a live action. Well, live action. And no change, no like drastic change or whatever. It's just, you got Emma Stone or whatever playing, or Jennifer Lawrence playing the Little Mermaid. And they dyed her hair red, and it's whatever.
Jennifer Lawrence can't sing.
Someone will sing for her.
But neither could Russell Crowe. But they did it. But,
hey, easy. I defend Russell Crowe.
I know. I'm sure you did. But if that happened, do you imagine the buzz that's going to happen? Like Aladdin came out and went away, and no one even noticed. Like they knew that like the same thing was going to happen to the Little Mermaid, and then Disney's like, "Hang on."
Did you? I watched Aladdin. I watched Beauty and the Beast, the remake, and I was literally like, "This." What you just said, I was like, "This is literally just the cartoon, scene for scene remade." And I was like, "Why am I watching this?"
Dude, The Lion King was live action. It was stupid, and no one really cares. And
I enjoyed watching the remake of The Lion King, but in my head I was like, "This isn't even fucking live action."
That's what I mean.
Yeah, it was stupid.
It's photorealistic.
The photorealistic remake.
So I'll be honest, I have not seen any of them yet. My wife watched Pinocchio while I was gone, and that's the closest I came to watching any of them.
Is that the Tom Hanks one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a movie or a show?
No, it's a movie.
It's a movie.
Okay.
Yeah, so I haven't seen any of them. But
I mean, you know the ending.
yeah,
you know how it ends.
But I mean, the bitch of it is like I've never seen any of them. But thanks to all the hype, guess which one I'm thinking about going to see? Is I want to see Little Mermaid. I want to see all that.
Bullet Train. I'm gonna go see Bullet Train. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It's fucking awesome.
Really? Okay, my uncle saw it. He said it sucked.
Oh,
but
dude, it's so good.
it's good? Okay, cool.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's
No, but
the
yeah,
same guy
Dahmer-
who directed Deadpool 2 and John Wick.
Have you seen the teaser for Deadpool 3?
Of course. Of
Which one?
course.
I'm so mad. I'm so mad. I'm just furious. My wife showed it to me, and I got so hyped. And I'm furious. You know why I'm furious? Because they said 2024.
Yeah, we're all gonna be dead. I mean, things keep going the way they're going.
Wait. I have to wait 2 years.
Okay, no, that's a good thing. That means they're putting in the work for this movie, dude.
Yeah, what have they been doing the past 5 years, though? Shit.
Getting
Anyway.
a script and getting... Really probably trying to negotiate with Hugh Jackman. And getting Disney on board to pay him whatever the fuck he wants to be that character again.
Maybe. I don't know.
So I
Every
know-
time I see Ryan Reynolds in any movie that's not Deadpool, I get mad because he should be focusing on Deadpool, not this other shit. It's ridiculous.
Well, he pretty much plays Wade Wilson in everything he's in anyway.
Everything, yeah.
Exactly. So why is he wasting time?
I've said every movie he made before Deadpool was his audition for Deadpool.
Probably.
Agreed. Yeah.
Which is sad because I think he's actually a really good dramatic actor.
He's very good.
Have you seen Amityville Horror?
Yes.
So the remake of Amityville Horror was actually probably my introduction to Ryan Reynolds. Like when it came out and I rented it on DVD and watched it, that was the first. I was like, oh, this guy, he's pretty good. I kind of like him. And yeah, so that was my first impression of Ryan Reynolds. Was that pretty good?
Yeah. In Smoking Aces, not that it's the most serious movie, but it was a dramatic role. And he was great.
Yeah. It was great. It was great. What was it? Wonderland with Jesse Eisenberg. He had a smaller role in that, but it was still pretty good.
But yeah, now he's just like, I'm going to be Ryan Reynolds, and I'm going to be witty, and I'm going to say all the clever things all the time, and I'm like...
No, he gets typecast a lot.
Oh, man.
That's all he does
I'm going to over-pronunciate how this beer tastes in my mouth.
Yeah.
And
That was Just
it.
Friends.
This shit's going to have nuts in it.
I'm going to go
Anyway.
rewatch Free Guy.
I
like
love
Free Guy.
Free Guy was
I
good.
loved it.
It was good.
Loved it.
Not what I expected, but it was good. Yeah.
hey.
Anyway.
Oh, I'm not going to ruin that spoiler. Sorry. You haven't seen Bullet Train yet?
No, not yet.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just wait.
Yeah.
Is Reynolds in it?
I'm not going to say if he is or isn't.
Okay, well, you kind of did.
Chris Evans was in Free Guy.
Yes, he was. Oh, what the shit?
Oh, what the shit. So good. Yeah. So, yeah, I think we covered a lot here, guys. This is good.
Yeah.
I mean, so main points. I'm in Carolina,
You're in Carolina.
and that's all I got.
That's all
That's the
you
important part.
got. It's not okay to recast Ariel with a black girl. I think we got that right. Or did we go the
Wow.
other way on that?
Wow. Is that the conclusion you came to? Wow.
I said it was fine.
Oh,
Because
because I was
the
going to
race is-
say
The race does not inform the character.
I agree wholeheartedly.
I want to see what the mascot looks like. That's what
The character
what's the,
Disneyland?
what's the character Disneyland going to do?
You know what they're going to do probably for a little bit is they're going to bring them both out
Yeah.
and then they're
And
just
then
going to
they can-
slowly transition.
Oh, my God. Then they have two lines?
Yeah. And that's
could
who you
actually-
find out who the racists are.
I say they just meet in the middle
Shit.
and make it a Mexican chick.
That'd be
It's
funny.
Ariel.
Adio.
Ariel. Pendejo.
Oh, my God.
All right.
Oh, my God. See, I can't make those jokes. I'm not in California anymore.
People are going to be like,
I mean, you can make those
brother.
jokes.
All right.
All right. Well, yeah. Next week we'll get more involved into some good topics. But hey, sorry I've been out for so long, guys. I appreciate you covering for me. But yeah, I'll be virtual now from now on, pretty much.
Yeah.
unless we
It's a little long
unless
of
we
a commute,
squeeze
yeah.
one.
He's going to show up
we
to the
s-
wedding all virtual and shit.
I'm saying if we squeeze one in at the wedding, that'd be pretty funny. But,
That morning? Yeah, I'm sure my fiance
morning?
won't mind.
as we're recovering from the night before. Yeah, that's fine.
Yay.
All right, let's get out of here.
All right. Bye, guys.
Adios, guys. Thanks for
Later.
watching.
See you later.